Your business is vulnerable to ransomware attacks, security breaches, and network intrusions? Talk to Consolidated Communications. Their expert team can evaluate if you're at risk and help you utilize their easy-to-use cloud secure service. Go to consolidated.com/cybersecurity. That's consolidated.com/cybersecurity. Consolidated Communications.
Game on! Game on! Game on! He shoots, he scores! 1 for 1! That is going wild! Score!
The hockey guys are on the air.
This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
The hockey guys. The tradition continues.
Okay, guys, show us what you got.
Hold on a sec. I'm going to get me a beer.
Welcome to the hockey guys. To the college hockey fans around the nation, good morning. Dean Wilson, head coach. I call you head coach. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
And we have Dr. Phil Johnson, the person that knows the most about the World Junior Hockey, USA Hockey. Big week for USA Hockey. Good morning. Hey, wasn't it fun after they just turn your mic up a little bit, I think we're ready to go. Hey, wasn't it fun after the USA Hockey won the World Junior Tournament, Dr. Phil, that the boys all lined up at the blue line?
You know, that is why that song,
the national anthem.
Yeah, that is why that song is my favorite song. There's a lot of music in it.
And keep it playing there, Jacob. Thank you. But you have to keep in mind, all they do is play the music. These are the boys singing from the heart. Does that give you goosebumps?
Every time.
And not embarrassed to stand for your country. Be proud of the red, white, and blue. And the country that it stands for.
And having been on that blue line 4 times doing it, it never gets old. You know, it never gets old to win gold. Let me tell you.
Well, you think about it. I mean, all the crap going on in the world,
yeah.
And it's when it brings us back down where, you know, you're proud to be American. You know, obviously I'm Canadian, but I'm, you know, those national anthems. That's a big part, and you know, and remember Gretzky used to throw it out.
Yeah.
You know, you're not just playing. You're playing for your country. And he used to make big emphasis on that, and that's a big pride thing. And great job, USA.
Yeah, they were the team of the tournament. I mean, you know, and they blazed through it like we did in 2017. No losses. You know, we had the overtime win, but no losses. I mean, they were the team to beat. It was pretty apparent once the tournament started. And and we'll talk with Coach Brown here in a little bit, but. There was just a talent level that you know, the other teams were chasing, you know, the whole tournament. So
yeah, you mentioned Coach Brown. We have Coach Greg Brown from the Boston College Eagles on with us at 9:15.
Number 1 team in the country.
Number 1 team in the country. If you have any questions, feel free to call the studio WDAY studio hotline here, and they'll take. You can get on with Coach Brown.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get a chance to watch any of the World Junior. Frankly, I've been tied up.
Loser. You're just a loser, Jeff.
For a jury trial starting next week. But I was catching both of your emails or text messages throughout the week. Great goal, great play. So I was getting the play-by-play electronically from you boys. But that was quite the tournament.
Yeah. Well, I got a good friend in Sweden, and he was chirping pretty hard. He was at the game. He's bashing the Americans, you know, and I laugh. I go, you know, I text him back, "You're not chirping now, dude. What's going on here?" So Jonas, silver, gold's number 1.
Yeah, but as we always say, you win gold and you lose silver. You know,
but
correct.
It's just
2 things that really surprised me with Sweden was. You know, I got just a little bit of the highlights at the end. They were a little emotional at the end. I mean, they wanted to get at it, which shows their pride, right? They wanted to have a 4th period to play. The other thing that surprised me was what happened to Canada, Wills.
You know, I was saying this morning.
No, I'm not saying that negative. I'm just serious. What happened to them? I never really caught anything about them in the tournament.
I mean, they had a pretty good run. It's just, in that game with Czech.
Boy, they're a team that's come around, huh?
Yeah, especially the last couple of years. But it was the classic, if you let the Czechs hang around, then all of a sudden you get into the third period, every shift is really important. And crazy things happen then. And that's what happened with Canada. I mean, they had a deflection off one of their defensemen for the winning goal. And they just, I thought maybe they were going to come out because they were starting to resurge there in the second period. I thought, okay, they're going to crank it up and come out and do the usual mow down like Canada oftentimes does. But they just never got it going because Czech kept them in check, literally.
That was Olympic sheet ice, correct?
It was. Yep.
And that's a different game. I remember Dean Blaze way back when he was up in Lillehammer coaching, and he talked about it's a different game. You find out who can play hockey on a bigger sheet ice.
Right. Well, it's a lot of skill then because you get more space.
More space and time, and you can't hide. If you're a weaker player, you can't hide out there.
Absolutely. But
there used to be that with that bigger ice, you had space and time. But the way these players play, that time and space is less and less, even on the bigger sheet.
And I'll tell you, there's been a transformation for this tournament probably over the last 5 years. And Greg can probably address that a little bit too. But I am so impressed how the game has become so fast at this level. I mean, your shifts are 30 seconds at max, maybe. But it is just literally balls to the walls. I mean, you are just going all the time. And it's speed. And I think part of that was Dean Blaze when he came in. His famous line was speed kills. And he's right. And it's just such a fast tournament.
It's just you get caught out on the ice at the end of a 30-second shift with a fresh line out there playing against you, and you can't get off the ice. It's, you may get away from it or get away with it in juniors, maybe college, but at that level, you just don't. Even at the NHL level, you don't get away with it. Which to me is a slower game than the World Junior Tournament. Let's catch a couple of the college games last night. North Dakota 6, Alaska 4. Denver over Niagara 5-2. The fun game. You had 3-3 with Mankato and Augustana.
Yeah.
So we see Augustana coming around.
I think Augie's the real deal.
I really hope so. I look at those guys and they're a neighbor. And you look at Anchorage last night in the Desert Hockey Classic. They'll be playing in the championship game tonight, I think, against Omaha, won't they?
Right.
Any of the scores catch you, Wilson?
I got a big score that caught me, and I got to give a shout-out to Kirk Olam and Elliot Bates for Concordia men's hockey. 2-1 win last night against St. Scholastica. St. Scholastica is ranked 2 in the nation.
Yeah. Ooh!
Yeah.
Good job, Cobbers.
Absolutely.
Woo!
Roll Cobbs.
Those two guys, they're just great coaches, aren't they? And they're. I hope Concordia administration and alumni and the hockey community knows how good they're just great people, but they're great coaches, and they love that program. Yeah. They're doing everything they can to make that program succeed, and they're giving everything, and they're good coaches. But that is a huge win, guys.
Big win. And if you got nothing going on today, they play at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Right, to take that in.
Yeah, I thought of the same thing. I mean, the roads will be clear by then, and it'll be good. And get out of the house, get some fresh air, and watch some good hockey in the Mayak.
Yeah, get a little Zamboni smoke.
There was one score, and I'm trying to remember it as we listen to some good music. Crank that music up, Jacob. Take over and sing while I'm trying to find the score.
I was at the North Dakota game last night, and again, the one thing that I just am a little troubled by is that still the forwards are just skating too long with the puck on their stick. They need to pass.
I see you shuffled the lines up a little bit.
He did a little bit. Yep. And the defense are still having a little trouble getting that outlet pass. Get going. Get up ice.
Simon Fraser won.
Oh yeah.
BU. won.
Yeah, overtime.
We got to get the Simon Fraser coach on, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, listen,
British
we're going
Columbia
to be
will let-
back with one of the best college coaches in the country, one of the best college programs in the country,
An all-around great guy.
Boston College Eagles head coach Greg Brown. After this, we'll see you later.
Hello, Fargo. This is John Adams, your host of Talk of the Town. My show is designed to highlight everything great about the city, the valley, and the country in which we live. I've had the great fortune of meeting, working, and living with wonderful people in the Fargo-Moorhead area, and I want to bring their stories to you. Human interest stories, sports, timely topics that affect all of us in the Red River Valley. Talk of the Town with John Adams. Tune in for positivity and fun.
Are your trees in need of some TLC? Look no further than Tyler's Tree Service. Whether you're planning for next year or need help now, visit tylerscut.com to request a quote. They'll swing by, assess the job, and send you a competitive bid. That's tylerscut.com.
Save $10,000 on new Chevy Silverados at Gateway Chevrolet. Gateway Chevrolet's lot is loaded with new Chevy Silverados. Stop by and take a test drive and find out how you can save $10,000 on select new Chevy Silverados at Gateway Chevrolet. The new Silverados are more versatile, powerful, and have more technology and safety benefits than any other truck in the market. So head over to Gateway Chevrolet and save $10,000 on select new Silverados with trade. Find new roads. Details gatewayfargo.com.
From the land of sky blue waters.
Instantly brings back memories of Hamm's beer. First brewed in Minnesota in 1865, Hamm's became one of the most iconic beers with one of the most recognizable bears in American history. These days, Hamm's is still brewed in that true family tradition, using the purest water and choicest barley, grain, and hops. Known far and wide as the beer refreshing. For you, we keep a light on and a door open to the land of sky blue waters.
From the land of sky blue waters.
With Jiffy Lube Multicare, it's our job to make car care make sense. With personalized service reviews that swap the car talk for straight talk, so you know what your car is telling you and what to do about it. Where highly trained service technicians have your back, helping you take care of the small stuff before it becomes big stuff. Plus a full range of services from Pennzoil oil changes to tires, brakes, batteries, and more. We've got what your car needs, so you're ready for whatever's next. Putting you in the driver's seat of car care, that's a job for Jiffy.
Jiffy Lube, 1780 South Columbia Road, Grand Forks.
Attention job seekers, AW Diesel Service Inc. in Gwinner, North Dakota is hiring a parts specialist. If you have light mechanical abilities, knowledge of heavy trucks, and excellent computer skills, AW Diesel Service wants to hear from you. This exciting opportunity involves dealing with the public, both in person and by phone. Monday to Friday, 8 to 5:30 with 1 to 2 Saturday mornings. Wages are negotiable and immediate start is possible. Contact Nancy at AW Diesel, 701-678-2132, or email your resume to nancy at awdiesel@gmail.com. Are your trees in need of some TLC? Look no further than Tyler's Tree Service. Whether you're planning for next year or need help now, visit tylerscut.com to request a quote. They'll swing by, assess the job, and send you a competitive bid. That's tylerscut.com.
And we're going to have some fun with our next guest. Welcome back to the Hockey Guys. Dean Wilson, Dr. Phil Johnson, and I'm the wise one, Jeff Bradall. Welcome, Coach Greg Brown,
morning,
Boston College Eagles. Thank you for joining the Hockey Guys this morning.
Thanks for having me. Good morning, guys.
Well, it's quite an honor. But I tell you what, congratulations on the victory last night.
That was fun to see. Guys played really well. Dave Carl and the staff must have done a fantastic job because they were very tight. It was great to watch.
You know, Greg, this is Phil. I just wanted to publicly thank you for letting all of your players go to participate in this tournament, because without them, it might have been a different tournament. I mean, you've got some really elite players there at Boston College, and talk to us a little bit about them. I mean, I know you like the team concept and everything, but these guys are really good. They're really fun to watch.
And they are. They can make some plays.
Yeah.
You're used to seeing that up in North Dakota too.
Yep.
You see guys with the skill set, but also the brain and the mental capacity to make plays, like to understand space and everything like that. So it's fun to watch every day in practice, and then obviously what they can do in the games has been very good so far the first half.
Yeah.
Coach Brown, just a quick question.
Yep.
He's going through, you assistant coach at Pittsburgh and also the Rangers. Did you run into our friend James Patrick when you were at the Rangers, or Jay Caulfield at Pittsburgh?
I did not. I played in Pittsburgh. I didn't coach there.
Okay.
I talked to Jay. We weren't there at the same time, but I have talked to him about we've had a decent amount of Eagles go through Pittsburgh, so
yes.
We spoke on the phone about those guys. Brian Dumoulin was there the longest, and Brooks Orpik, and so I have spoken to him, but we did not play together.
What is about the college game that brought you back from your 12-year professional career, your NHL career, then brought you back to the place that started your college career in hockey? What enticed you to come back?
I always felt like at the end of when I stopped playing that coaching would be something that's very exciting to be able to work with young kids and hopefully, not just teach them, help them work to be better hockey players, but also, all aspects of life where they can be good people as well as good players. So I was very fortunate when I finished that spot opened up at Boston College, and Coach York took me in. And so that the timing was perfect, and I've been very happy for the last 20 years doing this.
Hey, Coach, this is Dean Wilson here, and I coached for over 30 years, but here's my deal. I went to many hockey symposiums, and the best public speaker till this day was Jerry York. He was one of my most favorite people that I loved listening to him, and he was great. But I got two questions for you, but my first one, I'll keep it simple, and then I want you to confirm a story. But the first one is, what was special about him? What nuggets did you pull away from Jerry York?
Oh, show's not long enough.
Well, we got lots of time. We got all kinds of time.
Other two canceled on us. We got all day.
But I think the two things he did. One, his positivity was unwavering. Like, no matter how things went, he kept coming back with positive messages and positivity, and to see the kids respond and the confidence that they had to go out and play. He never took that away from players. And I think that was a huge aspect of it, that our guys were excited to go in big moments and make plays. So that was one thing. And then the other one is just the role model he was off the ice. He did everything right, so he could, when he asked the kids to do everything right, they had to respect the fact that that's how he lived his life. So those two things. And then, combining those two, he was able to get really good players to care about the team first. And we all want that, and it sounds easier than it is to do, but he was the master at that.
Well, just his demeanor when he spoke, you could feel it from him. You know what I mean? It's like when you hug your fifth cousin and say you miss him. You don't miss him, but you could feel it from him, when he would speak. And then my second question to you is, you got to confirm this, deny it, whatever, is that I heard that one year in the national championship lost Boston, and he made the boys stay on the bench and watch the ceremony of celebrating on the other team. And then they went in the locker room. He wasn't yelling or anything. And then they went in the locker room. And then next year they came back and won the national title. And I just thought, if it's a true story, I heard it somewhere, so it's got to be true, right? But I just thought, wow, that's pretty powerful. Just to look and go and to motivate those boys. We got to work harder, get after it, because we want to win this darn thing. So was that true, or I just made that up, or whatever?
I do believe it's true. I don't think it was. I think it was the 2000 to 2001 year, so which was before I was here.
Okay.
But I have heard the same thing. So I'm going to guess it is true. I just wasn't on the bench at that time.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Like I said, I just thought it was clever, not going crazy. Just watch this, boys, and how much you want to get after it, and how it burns in your stomach that you didn't win that national championship that year. So thank you.
Hey, Greg, I've got a couple questions for you as well. So, I mean, your travels have gone from, college up to the professional rank, working with Quinney at the Rangers, and then back down to the college level. Talk to us a little bit about what the difference is as far as coaching style and coaching technique when you're dealing with the professionals and then you're coming back to the college level. I mean, there's a lot more teaching, I would think, in the college level as opposed to the pros. But maybe give us a little insight, just what the difference is there a little bit.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it was funny. I went from BC as an assistant, and we had a lot of 19-year-olds. Then we went to the Rangers, and we were very young, and we had a whole bunch of 19-year-olds. And then I spent a year in Dubuque in the USHL with a whole bunch of year-olds, and then back to BC. So I feel like I worked with the age group difference wasn't as great as you thought. As you would think, going from those three places, but they're all at different parts of their maturity in their hockey game. And some kids get there quickly, some kids take a little longer. So your teaching level varies depending on, which group you're working with. And then of course, when you in the NHL, when you have Zibanejad and Kreider and Panarin, they understand so much. So you're more just kind of talking it out with them to figure out what the best way is to attack a problem. It's more that than teaching. So all levels were great and enjoyable, but you do look at each group very differently as far as how you go about working with them.
Coach Brown, with the parity you see all throughout college hockey, junior hockey, I mean, at all levels, even at high school here in North Dakota, Minnesota, the parity is out there. You have to kind of peel back the onion, so to speak, and try to find the characters with the desire, the heart. When you're out on the recruiting trail or your assistants are out there looking for players, how do you peel back literally the layers and find the players that we refer to as characters?
Yes. You do a lot of homework. You talk to their coaches, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 levels back. You want to find the kids that are ultra competitive and also good people. But the kids that, hockey, it's not a hobby. It's not a recreational activity. You want kids that live it. And when you find those, you have a much better chance of them continuing their progress and becoming the players you hope they could become. It's not easy when you're looking at 15, 16-year-olds to project. So you really want to know what's on the inside so you have a better chance that they're going to keep making those big steps that you want to be able to contribute for your team.
We have about a minute left, in this period. Coach Brown, would you have the time to hang in there through the break and join us for the
Sure.
Okay, excellent. But quick question, when I was at University of North Dakota, we had a player called Jim Archibald. At the same time, the Gophers had a player named Pat Micheletti. Characters on those teams. And when we get back from break, I'm going to ask you, who on your team is the character, the glue guy that keeps your team the top team in the nation? And we'll be back to the hockey guys right after this with Coach Greg Brown of Boston College. Thank you.
In 1951, on the corner of 8th and Main, Ted Hornbacher started a neighborhood grocery store grounded in family values, bringing you the highest quality meat and smokehouse, along with the freshest produce, bakery, and deli products. That continues to be their passion, and they take pride in serving you every day. Hornbacher's, freshness and quality since 1951. And remember, before or after the game, they have you covered with their quick and easy meals. Stop in today and check them out in the deli and meat department.
glass of lemonade.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, that's sour.
I ran out of sugar, so I just added more lemons.
Ever feel like you may have made the wrong choice? When you shop Valley Pre-Owned with our 3-month, 3,000-mile limited warranty and 7-day, 1,000-mile exchange policy, making a good choice is easy. See the full inventory now at valleyimports.com. Drive it, love it, or return it. Valley Pre-Owned.
Hello from the WDAY News Center. I'm Ty Schoenert with your news update. Crews officially restoring all outages that occurred from last week's ice storm. The storm downing 700 electrical poles and forming ice over 2 inches thick across southeastern North Dakota counties. Some power outages lasting as long as 11 days. Cass County Electric Cooperative thanking residents for their patience and also thanking nearby electric cooperatives for their assistance in rebuilding critical infrastructure. Minnesota State Representative Liz Olson will not be seeking re-election. The Democrat announced on social media on Friday she plans to leave the House after her current term. Olson, who leads the House Ways and Means Committee, said it's been an honor to represent the people of Duluth over the past 8 years. And the average Eastern North Dakotan paying 20 cents less for gas compared to the national average of $3.08. As reported by AAA, the average price for a gallon of gas is $2.81 in Cass County, $2.75 in Trail, $2.79 in Barnes, and even lower in several eastern counties like Richland, Grand Forks, and Pembina. Gas prices in western Minnesota also lower than the national average. Clay, Norman, Otter Tail, Becker, and Clearwater counties paying below $2.90 a gallon. Wilkin residents are paying an average of $2.79, and several central Minnesota counties paying an average of $2.75 a gallon or less. I'm Ty Schoenert with WDAYRadioNow.com. First with the news when you need to know.
Scattered light snow showers will be winding down throughout this morning into the afternoon, then just a slight chance for a couple flurries with some patchy drifting snow. Temperatures will be falling into the teens as we head throughout this afternoon with a northwest wind around 10 to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, an isolated flurry is possible, otherwise winds will lighten up out of the southeast with low temperatures near 8 above zero, and will warm back to the upper teens on Sunday with light wind and mainly cloudy skies. For the WDAY Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
Okay, Fargo Force fans, the team is back and playing some great hockey this season, and the Force brings the action back to Shields Arena for another great matchup. With a concourse that is action-packed for kids, including a rock climbing wall and fun for all ages. The Fargo Force play host to the Des Moines Buccaneers at Shields Arena on Friday and Saturday, January 5th and 6th. Bring your friends and family for a great time with food and beverage specials. Get your tickets at Shields Arena box office or at fargoforce.com. Come for the hockey, stay for the fun.
The FMWF Chamber presents the State of the Cities, January 11th at the Delta by Marriott in Fargo. Join our 5 Metro mayors as they cover the biggest topics, challenges, and future plans for our communities. Thanks to premier sponsor XL Energy. Keep yourself and your business connected with an interactive Q&A with the mayors as they discuss plans for our growing metro. The State of the Cities, January 11th at the Delta by Marriott. Reserve your tickets at fmwfchamber.com.
Welcome back to the Hockey Guys. Dr. Phil Johnson, Dean Wilson, and the wise one, Jeff Bradall. And we have Coach Greg Brown, Boston College. Thank you for hanging in there with us and coming back. So, the characters on your team, the glue guys that keep your team together, right. Who would you say they are?
We have a funny makeup of our team. So we have 3 grad students, 3 seniors, 3 juniors, and 18 freshmen and sophomores.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of character by committee. Our 3 grads do a great job. They're mature kids, and they do a great job of leading by example, really showing the younger guys how you need to operate, how you need to take care of all your business before you get on the ice, so you're as ready as you can be when you do get on. Our captain, Eamon Powell, is in the same realm where he just does everything right off the ice. So those guys lead. I think the style you're talking about.
No, Coach. I think we have it right. Those guys were Micheletti and Jim Archibald. They were the best locker room guys. Kept everyone focused. They protected everyone on the ice, and they led by example. And they were the top scorers right now. Top 3 for Gopher history, top 3 for North Dakota history in points, but also in penalty minutes. And they led by example. They did.
Right.
They did. And you didn't want to play against them if at the end of the third period their team was down by a couple goals, put it that way.
Right. No, I think Ryan Leonard, who's just a freshman, he's more in that style of player. I'm not sure he'll be a junior or a senior, but he has.
Doesn't sound like it.
As long as he's eligible.
Well, Coach or Doc.
Yeah, and Greg, I've got a couple questions for you. We've seen such a transformation, not only with USA Hockey, but just hockey in general. And and I remember when I started down the World Junior Trail at 2005. Now that was obviously a whole different World Junior with the professionals being locked out. But talk to us a little bit. What you have seen has made one of the biggest difference, because when I started out on this thing, I don't see that level of eliteness. I don't see that level of play like we do now. The game is so fast. The kids are so skilled. And is that because we've expanded like our programs down here in North America with the USHL, with the National Team Development Program? It used to be always if you were going to go pro, you had to go to Canada. Well, that's not true anymore. And I think that with the help of USA Hockey, and I'm not trying to build them up, but I think they were instrumental in really promoting hockey down here, and it has caught fire. And literally, we have won several medals now in the last 5 years on the international level. That I think that it goes to, is it the better coaching? Is it the better awareness? Is it the better programs such as the NDDP? It just seems to be that we're moving right in the right direction. And I was just wondering what your thought was that.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I think everything is ramped up. The depth of hockey in America is so much greater than it was. Yeah. And it seems every 5 years it's another whole level above. God, I remember I was actually on the team that won the first medal for the U.S. It was a bronze back in '87. And it felt like the other countries just came at you in waves. And, we had, Brian Leach and Mike Richter. Like, we had great players, and we were lucky to get a bronze. And now the U.S. goes in every year with a legitimate shot at a medal, but also a gold medal. So
right.
It's just that the level of hockey has gotten so much higher in the U.S. And all those factors you mentioned go into why.
Hey, Coach, Dean Wilson here again. I've kind of kicked this dead horse, but I'll kick it again, is the open portal. You 18 freshmen and sophomores. You got a young team, so I'm assuming you got guys right out of juniors versus open portal. And then I'll just throw this out. I'll give a nod to, I think it's destroying football, my personal opinion. Guys are hopping all over the place. And what are your thoughts on that and your take on the open portal? I mean, it obviously, I'm a UND guy, so it benefited UND, obviously, but just your thoughts on it.
Yeah, it makes it so much harder. You're in a tough spot, and you hope that the kids want to stick if they're playing, third line and they want to play second line or be on the power play. You hope they don't. You hope they stick it out and work their way up rather than just run for what seems like greener pastures. Some of the great teams, I'm sure North Dakota and that we had back at BC, you don't know if you would ever keep that kind of depth with the portal if it was active back in those days. So we hope that it doesn't become a factor as far as guys hoping to run, and it seems like it's evolved much further in football and basketball so far, but it definitely makes the coaches' jobs a lot more challenging.
Coach, you take a look at Augustana, which is a new program in South Dakota that has joined the CCHA, and last night they had a tied game with Mankato. And then you also take a look at Arizona State, That's a great program, top ranked, joining the NCHC.
Yeah. Lindenwood.
And now you've got Lindenwood. You've got a team out there, Simon Fraser, that tied with Boston University last night. You've got Stoneyall. What leagues out there are going to open their arms and bring in those teams? And I'll say to some extent to their detriment initially, until those programs rise to the level of the top teams, in those leagues. It's tough to bring in those beginning programs, but to make college hockey better, leagues are going to have to bring in those teams.
Yeah, we hope it can keep expanding. I think college hockey has really risen to a great spot as far as the attention it's getting, the atmosphere it's getting, and also the development that's going on. You see the World Junior team do well with a lot of college players, and you see more and more college kids every year making it to the NHL. So hopefully these schools recognize that it's a great product, and then the college hockey body, we do have to do the best we can to keep the expansion going. I know a lot of it makes it hard with geography. Seems to be one of the most inhibiting factors as far as getting guys in your league, but hopefully we can figure it out, because as I said, the depth of hockey just keeps growing. So we're in a very strong spot right now, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Greg, another question for you. So, you've been at multiple levels, but talk to us a little bit, because there's always that question, that, well, you're only going to have them for a year or two in college. But the reality is, when they're developing in college, it's different than when they're at major juniors, where they're playing, 80 games a year, where in college you're going to play maybe 30, 35 at the most. What do the people on the professional side like? Do they like the college aspect because they can develop better in that off-season training during the season, where they're only playing a couple of games on the weekend? Or do they think, that exposure to all those games is so much better, that with that game experience? Do they say one way or another, or do you feel one way or another, which is the best pathway to go if you want to continue on to your professional career?
They don't say one way or another, but I think it's really up to the individual.
Okay.
I think the strength of college hockey is you do get a lot of time to develop physically. The weight programs at every school are outstanding. So you go from a boy to a man, and you're ready physically when you try and play pro hockey. The fewer games, probably you could say they don't get as many looks at different situations. But the positive side of that to me is every game has an intensity to it.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're only playing, 34 regular season games, it's like every one is a playoff game.
Right.
So you do get to enhance those skills where you have to be ready. And the mental side of the game is so important. If you're going to go play pro hockey in an 80-game schedule, to be ready for those games mentally is just as important as physically, if not more important. So there's a lot of strengths in college that way, and it's a unique spot in the whole world. I think we're the only league really that has that 18 to 23, 24-year-old level. Everyone else, every other country, you're kind of junior hockey right to pro.
Right.
And those middle years when you're not good enough to be a pro and too good to be a junior player, college is a great situation for guys that fit in that window.
The ability, what I like about college, and I played in the Saskatchewan Junior League, and the first year of the USHL was in existence after they bought, I think, the league that they switched into, the USHL. But you're right. The quantity of games you play, you kind of become numb and you just go out and play. But the games you play on weekend in college, you get ramped up and you're ready to play, and you're playing for something. You're playing for a team, and you're playing for a university. It's kind of like the World Junior, where the boys are standing in the blue line, coach, and they're playing for their country. And when they were standing on the blue line, it just made everyone had tears in their eyes here at this table.
It's the greatest song ever.
It's such a great look.
Yeah.
It's so happy to go. Yeah, it's such a great look. And you're right. You're playing for not just a jersey. You know, you're playing for your country is the best, and then also playing for your school. And you live with those kids, and you go to school with them, and you go to eat with them, and you go to war with them on weekends. It's really a great experience for everyone.
Well, Coach Greg Brown, thank you for being with the hockey guys.
Greg, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, and hopefully we'll see you down the road.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely, for sure. We will have you back, and then hopefully we'll see you in St. Paul as well.
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Love to catch you guys there.
Hey, have a great weekend, and good luck to your Eagles the rest of the way.
Thank you very much. See you guys.
Take care.
Bye now.
On new Chevy Silverados at Gateway Chevrolet. Gateway Chevrolet's lot is loaded with new Chevy Silverados. Stop by and take a test drive and find out how you can save $10,000 on select new Chevy Silverados at Gateway Chevrolet. The new Silverados are more versatile, powerful, and have more technology and safety benefits than any other truck in the market. So head over to Gateway Chevrolet and save $10,000 on select new Silverados with trade. Find new roads. Details gatewayfargo.com.
Your company should know Consolidated Communications has the only data center in the area that is SOC 2 certified. Consolidated has tested in-place systems to protect your valuable data, and with today's security concerns, that's more important than ever. Many business insurance companies require SOC certification, so work with a local data center that is SOC certified. For scalable, cost-effective data center solutions, go to consolidated.com/data center. Consolidated Communications.
The team at Citywide Electric has over 60 years of experience in electrical work. Experience you can trust for design, repair, and installation of any home or business electrical project. A small local company working in the communities where they live. Nolan, Bryce, Brady, and Jay work hard to get projects done on time, while Kevin and Mason take pride in finding quick and cost-effective solutions. Sean, Cody, and Brent use knowledge to assist in designing a solution that makes your life easier. Citywide Electric, your trusted electrical team in the Dakotas and Minnesota. Online at citywide-electricnd.com.
Discover the beautiful new Center for Special Surgery, located in the Rivers Bend Medical Center in West Fargo. As the first surgery center to offer outpatient total joint replacement in the state, it is on the cutting edge of outpatient surgical care. An exclusive independent multi-specialty center in the FM area, uniting surgeons in orthopedics, ENT, ophthalmology, plastics, and spine. Experience a more personalized and efficient approach to surgical care. Find out more online at specialsurge.com.
Luxor Garage Condos are getting ready for their open house January 11th, and they want you to benefit now. Save $10,000. Use that $10K to help build out your new fun space. Use it for a kitchen or a bathroom, or just knock $10K off the price. Luxor Garage Condos, designed to fit your style with a secure, non-commercial location. That means less traffic, interior upgrades at reasonable prices with a reasonable maintenance fee. Add whatever you want inside. Luxor Garage Condos, south on I-29 at the Wild Rice exit. Find out more online at luxor.com. LUXSTOR.com.
Are your trees in need of some TLC? Look no further than Tyler's Tree Service. Whether you're planning for next year or need help now, visit tylerscut.com to request a quote. They'll swing by, assess the job, and send you a competitive bid. That's tylerscut.com.
Hello, Fargo. This is John Adams, your host of Talk of the Town. My show is designed to highlight everything great about the city, the valley, and the country in which we live. I've had the great fortune of meeting, working, and living with wonderful people in the Fargo-Moorhead area, and I want to bring their stories to you. Human interest stories, sports, timely topics that affect all of us in the Red River Valley. Talk of the Town with John Adams. Tune in for positivity and fun.
You know the voice.
It's fun. I got the best listeners on the planet, man. I don't care what Hennon says. My listeners kick his listeners' butt, man.
By the way, he called me during one of the commercials. He called me.
Senator, and let us know that your date book is full and you need to go.
So Scott can talk to him. Really, Hennon? Are you kidding me? No, you know what? We'll have the senator for another 45 minutes.
Right, yeah. The Jay Thomas Show, weekdays at 2 on 970 AM and 93.1 FM, WDAY Radio.
Are your trees in need of some TLC? Look no further than Tyler's Tree Service. Whether you're planning for next year or need help now, visit tylerscut.com to request a quote. They'll swing by, assess the job, and send you a competitive bid. That's tylerscut.com.
The producer, Jacob Garamoni, is spinning the tunes this morning.
Out on the keyboard.
The best producer in college hockey.
Hey, a little shout out to our sponsors, Center for Special Surgery. It's an awesome place. As I've retired from there, I can tell you that it's the highest quality care in this area. So,
spinning on music. The other day I was at school and I told those girls, play that back to me. And they didn't know what I was doing. They're looking like, what are you doing? Hey, but hey, call it insulation, man. They're out there. They're working hard. It's getting colder out. It's getting colder out.
If you got a draft, you got a draft.
Give them a call. Citywide Electric. Hams Beer.
Oh, how in the heck could we have forgotten that one?
Yeah, you mentioned a sponsor that's not sponsoring us this year.
Well.
But that's okay. We can thank them for their years of sponsoring.
Yeah. My bad, but hey, good people.
Yeah, good. Absolutely. Oh, great people. But I sure hope, hey, guys, these coaches that we bring on, and I mentioned this during the break, appreciate how much we respect college hockey and how much we respect them and admire their coaching. I mean, if we didn't have them on, if we didn't admire a coach, we would not have them on.
Well, I think the fact that they take our call means that they understand.
And to have the coaches on that we have, it's a treat to us, and I think it's. I hope you find it a treat as our listeners. You brought up a good point, Dr. Phil. Second half of the season coming up.
Yeah.
Now it's important.
Prognostication. What do you think?
Yeah, you start off.
Well, I think you've got to go with how we finished the first half. And obviously, the Eastern schools are doing really well. Boston College, Boston University, Quinnipiac. I mean, are they going to continue to roll, or are they going to hit a rough patch? It seems like every team hits a little rough patch. I think North Dakota's gone through their rough patch, perhaps. Let's hope so anyway. Last night it was a little better, but they can still get a lot better. And then you've got the Big Ten. What's happened to Michigan? They kind of gone backwards. But now, will they get a little resurgence with all the players they had on the World Junior team? Rucker McGroarty was the captain. He did really well. Will he bring back some new energy? I think Minnesota is an interesting team. They're good, but they're not as good as they were last year. They're good in goal. Their defense is not as good. Some of their key forwards are gone. So I think it'll be interesting how these teams develop over the next couple of months or so. Will they take that up to the next level? And then there we go.
You talk about the Big Ten. And I'm going to give this question out to you, Wills. Is in the Big Ten the Gophers getting lost out there with Michigan State, and the rise of Wisconsin?
Yes.
I would agree. I always kind of bagged on them when they went to that league altogether to play hockey, and I'm looking and these teams that I never thought about, and all of a sudden, boom, they're out there, But you're right. There's teams that, I think of Wisconsin, they're back on the map. They kind of faded in the sunset. I also talk about factors involved about that second half. Who decides who plays? And coaches don't, players do.
Right.
They got to step it up, And I used to tell my guys, you had to audition to January 1st. The party's over. We're going with guys that can get the job done. Staying healthy, team chemistry, attitude, playing good hockey at the right time, consistency. You talk about junior hockey. I used to tell guys, well, I think I'm going to leave my senior year and go play juniors. I go, you can't even play 25 high school games well. You're going to play 80? You got to come to play every night, and that's the challenges of junior hockey. Yeah. You got to have your game on 80 times. You're playing all the time. Like you said, Jeff, practicing during the week. It was fun. You practice during the week. Friday, Saturday, you play. It's good training. It's consistent training. When you play juniors, I play juniors, you're all over the place. You grew up in Thunder Bay. You're in the middle of nowhere. Your short car ride is Winnipeg, 500 miles.
And you just brought up a really good point, which I think is instrumental in the junior, the way the juniors are set up. Those kids are not mature enough, I don't think, at 17 and 18 to play all those games and bring your best game every night. And to develop that professional mentality. You know, I mean, that's something that you develop when you're 19, 20, 21 years old.
I agree. You know, when I was at UND, you know, and maybe this is a good or bad example, but it's why you draft 18-year-olds.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go behind that patch and see if anything's bad there. Okay.
Yeah.
But 21-year-olds go, I'm not going over there. You go over there. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it's that maturity.
Yep.
When you're 21 years old, you're not fearing an 18-year-old.
No.
Unless it's some crazy superstar. But you know what I mean? Like,
you're licking your chops.
Yeah.
You're licking your chops.
And they've physically developed. They're mentally developed better. So, yeah.
And they've taken their bumps and bruises over time. They know how to sit out.
Yep.
They learn how to play well with others. And it's just that maturity you talk about. Yep. And the big thing I find is the mental maturity. Most of those guys are physically there. Some will build up a lot more too. But most of it, that's a mental factor. It's a big part of the game.
Absolutely.
Well, let me take what you said, Wills, and summarize it to how I see the college teams that are going to rise at the second half of the season. You give me a team that's composed of upperclassmen, and I'll go back to Quinnipiac last year. 19 seniors, have all the bruises and the wars that they've been through. They were unstoppable, right? Unstoppable. And they won that game against Minnesota with the play they practiced repeatedly every practice.
Yep.
And I don't know. It's going to come down to me as the upperclassmen who can take those younger phenoms that have jumped up, freshmen this year, and put them on their back and carry them, because it's going to be the characters, the upperclassmen. It's going to be those guys with the heart and desire that have earned that ability to play. And I think it's going to be those teams that have that chemistry like that, makeup,
and stay healthy,
successful.
And stay healthy. That's the other aspect.
And tell you what, Coach Brown with us, that was a treat. Phil, thank you for lining up Coach Brown.
He's a great guy, and I remember this like it was yesterday, where we won that gold medal in the shootout against Canada in Montreal, and we turned around and hugged each other and said we did it. You always remember those. That's the chill up and down the spine.
And Will's got to keep that Santa Claus beard on. And good questions today. Good job, both you guys. We miss Big Eddie Christian. He's in Arizona scouting.
Did we miss Eddie? Oh, was Eddie not here?
Oh, we always miss Big Eddie. But listen, thank you for joining the Hockey Guys. We'll be here at the same time next weekend. Thank you. Have a great week.
Drive safe, people. It's still slick out.